All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome in. All right, let's make sure we get everything set up here, and then we will start into the stuffs. All right, 1 second here. All right, everything looks like it's running fine. Okay, all right, let's. I'm not gonna work on this right now. Actually, I just hit my limit for until 4 o'clock today, so that's unfortunate, but that's okay. Let me pull up my live stream here. And that actually might make things a little bit harder doing them on the live stream because I hit my limit too, but we're going to work through it. Let me mute this here. Okay, great. So basically what I was doing here was I was just creating some emoji style icons for my community that I'm building out. So pretty fun. AI can do it. So easy. I still remember paying for this. I don't know, years ago. It was years ago. I was paying people on Fiverr like $200 to do just like this thing right here that can happen in 30 seconds. So not going to work on that right now. I'm actually going to pull up ChatGPT. I just signed out of my main account into a dummy one because I wanted like a fresh memory. I didn't want any influencing on there. And then I'm going to go into Claude as well. So basically what this stream is going to be about today is it's going to be, oh, I put the wrong description in there. I'm so sorry, guys. It's going to be about, I wish I could edit the description because it did not update the description. That's unfortunate. Okay, don't read the description. The description is not accurate. I might change it in post. Build anything you need with AI for contractors. Okay, that's accurate. All right. So this stream is going to be about, basically you can build anything that you want using AI now. Like you can copy anything. Okay, so instead of trying to struggle and figure out and build from scratch, what is better to do is to find something that's already working or somebody has already done, and then you go copy that, and then you start as a reference point from that, and then build it out from there. So we could do anything. Let me think of an example. All of this is real time, by the way. I don't plan any of this. I just do it like I would do it, but I need like a good example of something to build. I think a website is good. Logos are actually really hard for people to make too. I guess like a lot of people have a ton of logos, but there's not a lot of good logos out there. But again, that might be hard because I think for my Gemini, I hit my my image creation limit. Did I hit my limit? Never asked it that before, but we'll see what it says. Okay, I've actually never had to check the limit in the settings page. I want to make sure that I'm not showing anything I shouldn't. Here we go. Here's usage limits. Yeah, so I've used 100%. Wow, I didn't know they actually showed the track for this. This is cool. 100% until 3:45. The only limit I have to check for is Claude. I don't pay for OpenAI. I only pay for Claude Max. It's like $100 a month. It's a kind of a no-brainer at this point because it's so powerful. But this is like $20 a month. But you get a whole bunch of stuff with this. I mean, it's insane. It's not even the AI you pay $20 for. You pay for the storage and the AI and the Gmail, and I can go on and on about it. And the NotebookLM too. Okay, so that's fun. Let's see. Wow, this is going to make the stream really hard. Let's just make it interesting here. What is something that... Sip of coffee. What is something that we could copy? I know graphics are a big one. Let's say like... Let's go over HVAC, okay? Because let's say HVAC company in Arizona. I'm going to pull these up at random. I have no affiliation. I don't know any of these. This is just for demos. And so like this guy right here, his branding is spot on as far as the colors go, right? Because if it's in Arizona, it's hot. I don't want to see anything red. I want to see all blue. Okay, so this guy's crushing it. But some people put a lot of red in their thing, and as long as they like position it to look very American, right, like red, white, and blue, that's fine. But some of them put like some really, really red icons in there, and it's just like, it's too much. Because if you're burning up in Arizona, you don't want to be seeing this. And also another thing too is I see a lot of great reviews for the HVAC companies here, which is awesome. I wish the restaurants could catch up here because they all have bad reviews here. Like this guy, look at this. Like this is great. This is fantastic because he's got a lot of blue, and it's unique because okay, so blue and orange on the color spectrum or the color chart, it's opposite of each other. It's complementary, right? Think of like the orange beach and then the blue ocean, right? It goes hand in hand. This icon is really good, really smart, really distinguishable, really iconic, really cool. This guy's kind of playing off of. Yeah, I don't know about this one. This is, and at this point, I think I'm just looking like I'm being a hater. So let's get to it. Let's go to. Let's find something. Let's go. Okay, here's a better one. Let's go HVAC company in Arizona. Pamphlet. Okay, so here's a flyer. And my internet's not pulling it up. I think my stream might be tugging on the usage of my computer. Excuse me. This one is cool. This one's great because like it is really triggering like how hot it is. For this, I think this is a good example of like need your air conditioner fixed today, and it's all orange and it's hot and it's muggy and it's miserable. It's like grayed out. You can see here. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so freaking hot and miserable. So this is a great one because you're digging into their pain point, which is that they're burning up from the heat. So this is a good one. Let's say that like we want to copy something like this, right? So I'm gonna just screenshot this. I'm gonna say, hey, I love this layout, and I don't have usage limits for that. So let's just see if Claude can do this. I might have to do ChatGPT, but I have a limit because I'm on the free one. ChatGPT is gonna be a better one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my screenshots. Let's pull that up. And I'm going to drop that in there. And then I'm just going to say, I'm going to go to a demo company, right? So let's just go to, let's duplicate this tab. Let's go to it back a little bit. Go to here, and then we're going to say that our company, for example, this would be your company, is one of these companies. And I'm just going to try to find one quickly because we could spend all day going through these HVAC companies. Okay. Let's just say it's this one. Discount air cooling and heating. Pulled at random. Let's see if we have a website. I am not seeing a website. There we go. Why does it not show the website on Google anymore? Am I tripping? Get phone number, get quote, overview, services, reviews, photos. Wow. It doesn't show the, unless this says it's sponsored, so maybe they just don't want their website shown. Yeah, I'm not seeing a what the heck is this? I'm not seeing a website on any of this. This is nuts. Maybe something's changed because I have to actually go Google it to find it. Okay, so let's say this is our company, right? For example, all right, and I'm gonna take this. We don't have to have this URL here because that's from Google. I'm just gonna copy all of this. We'll go back to here. And I'm gonna say I've uploaded an example pamphlet from another HVAC company that I really like, but I want to apply this same style to mine for my pamphlet, and I'm going to give you the URL to my HVAC company website. Okay, and then we can just paste that there. And we can just send that. So we're going to say we're going to copy this one for our own. Okay. Yeah, immediate problem call out. Yeah. Yeah, overall. Okay, and let's give me some options here. Even stronger, free diagnostic with any repair or $50 any service. Okay, this is great. I want you to pull any information that you have questions for or that you need from my website, okay? And then, so take my website as a reference for the brand and the style guidelines. Just use my URL. And then use this reference image I uploaded and create me a pamphlet for my company, please, based off of my information. Okay. And that's going to go through. It's pulling from the website. And I'm just going to say generate the image. Okay. Let's see what it does. And so ChatGPT has a pretty powerful image creation now. I don't really use it because I use Gemini a lot, but like I said, I hit my usage because I was pumping out some images earlier, so we're not gonna be able to use that today. Resets at 4. It's 2 hours for me. Claude is not that great at image creation. You can get some like custom. You can extract the backgrounds and do stuff like that with Claude, but nothing else. Okay, setting the scene. And if you watch my last stream, I think it was on Friday, I showed how to like get your brand style guidelines and all that stuff from. You can extract it. So let's go to it was reliable heating and air. Okay, so basically you can create this NotebookLM and chat with it in Gemini, which is super cool. But I was able to create the brand style guidelines and the logo uploaded as well from their website, and so you can do like everything from here. It's nuts. Okay, yeah. So there we go. This is great, but it's a lot of information. Let's go to our website again. This is a example. I think it's just this ChatGPT is just making stuff up at this point. Okay, so what I would do is I would use the NotebookLM route, honestly. I'm not a huge fan of how this is set up. We can dive into this. But yeah. Let me see, did it at least get the number right? I'm going to tell it. I'm going to say, this is way too much information that you're injecting into this. I basically want you to make that same the same pamphlet that I showed you, but for my company, my logo, my phone number, my information, and put it on there. Okay, thank you so much. Generate that image. What it's trying to do right now is I call this injecting, and that's where AI is trying to inject its own mediocre average knowledge into what you're trying to do. And sometimes you have to override that and say, look, this is what I actually want, and then it'll follow. AI is like super passive. It's just trying to please you the whole time. And sometimes it goes the wrong way. Okay. So what we can actually do is, like I said, this is the reliable heating and air example I made. You should watch the stream from Friday. It was pretty good about how to do this. You can do everything from here for your company. But again, I don't know if I want to go through and show all that today because I just did it on Friday too. I'm trying to just show some quick grabs because, okay, there we go. That's not our logo though. What you can do is you can take and save the image of your logo. Just save, like this is trying to save it as a WebP, and that'll work, actually, that'll work. So we'll just save it as WebP into my downloads, and then I can go back and I can upload a file. I'm only gonna have one more shot at this because I'm on the free plan for ChatGPT because I don't use it, because I use Gemini usually. But again, I hit my max. Let's make sure the phone number is right. Phone number is right. And then the location is saying Tucson, Arizona. It has a license number there. This is saying Queen Creek. Yeah, and then we can basically like copy. We can basically just copy this information. But I mean, you're already gonna know your information for your company, so this is not gonna be exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to just say, okay, so you're making up the logo. What I want you to do is take this image that I just uploaded and use this logo for the for my logo, please. And then I'm also going to give you the service area of where to serve. The phone number you got right, but I'll just go ahead and give you the information again, and also the ROC number, so the license number. I'll give that to you as well, okay? Let's go here. We're going to copy, paste that, and then we're going to license number here. And then we're just going to also say, generate the image for me, please. But don't change anything else. Everything else looks fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay. And it looks like I've been live for 15 minutes, so this is about 15 minutes to do this. You could probably do it a little bit faster, especially if we're using Gemini. I can show that in the next stream because, again, I've been saying it 1,000 times, I hit my limit today, which I never do, but I did. But if you have ChatGPT, the paid plan, which I might have to start doing because I'm doing so many demos, and I used so much ChatGPT before. I'm not gonna say why I don't use it anymore. But it is a great program though, and it's very powerful. Adding the final touches. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, look at that. That's like spot on the money. I don't like the color variation right here too much, but I mean, that's just me being super picky. So yeah, so anyway, so you can take a pamphlet that's already online, a design that's already online. There's no need to try to redesign something yourself, like from scratch, right? It's easier, human psychology here, it's easier to fix something that is broken than it is to make something from scratch, okay? So, for example, like if you're like, somebody does something, but they do it wrong, it's easier to correct them than to just be like, okay, let me just make this thing right off the top of my head. It's much harder to do things from scratch, but it's easier to correct them. So, that being said, you can go to any image you want, anything you want, and you can, let's see, I don't want to close this out. And you can extract anything you need from there, okay? So let's just go from the top. We'll use this company here. Like I said, I have no affiliation with them, but they do have this unique blue and yellow, which it also goes together. But it's also weird though that they show blue and yellow on their website and then they show blue and red on their trucks. A little bit of a branding clash here, but it's not that big of a deal because they have such a good reputation and they do such a good job that none of this is like top priority stuff, right? Maybe by local with sitemap. Okay, so let's just go back up. So let's just say this is going to be us, and we want to copy the brand essentially, right? Like we want to make our brand guide. So again, I would use NotebookLM, completely free from Google, and I'm not trying to upsell you on an affiliate link. They don't have one, so do as you will. And then you can just basically take your website, you can just post it into here and drop that source in there. And then you can just say, I want you to use my website and make me a comprehensive, super exhaustive brand guideline and style guideline. Make sure to include all of the things that are necessary, like the colors, the fonts, the everything. Pretend like you are a senior graphic designer and front-end designer, and I want you to go make this guideline for me, okay? Thank you so much. You can just use buzzwords like that. The best one I've found so far has been to say comprehensive and exhaustive. But there's also good words too, like pretend like you're a senior XYZ, right? Pretend like you're a senior graphic designer. Pretend like you're a senior whatever, you name it. And you can say pretend, but it's probably actually better to say you are. Okay, so we have the brand identity core, discount air heating. The tagline, top-rated HVAC services in Queen Creek. Okay. Brand voice, structural end-to-end. Here's the website, footer, structure, typography. Here's the color palette. Okay, great. This is perfect. Now what we do is we just copy this right here. Actually, I'm going to have to copy it from here because it doesn't work sometimes like that. So we're going to add a note, and then we're just going to paste this in here. And then we can just delete all of this AI stuff here that we don't need. There we go. And then we can just name this brand style guideline. Actually, I'm going to just name it brand guidelines. Brand and style guidelines. Okay. Hitting some brain fog. Bear with me. There we go. All right, sweet. All right, brand and style guidelines. And now we can hit the three buttons over here, and we can convert this to a source. Just like that. And now we have that. And then we can also take our logo and then we can save it like we did earlier. Save it to a spot you know. And then go back to our NotebookLM. I'm just going to close this out for now. So, like I said, we have this here. I'm going to actually download this real quick too before I forget. Save the image PNG. Save it to the downloads. Perfect. All right. And then we can close this out. So now we have our website. We have this. We have Claude if we need it. Not right now. Oh, crap. I closed out the wrong NotebookLM. That's okay because... Let's see if it... There we go. Perfect. All right. And then we can just rename it right here. It's called Discount Air Cooling, and it renamed it for me. Awesome. So now we have this. So now what we want to do is we want to add our logo, and then we can drop that file that we downloaded earlier from the computer. So it'll be this one here, and this will be the logo, which is perfect. This is what they call a WebP. It's basically like a more optimized version of like a PNG or a JPEG. If you don't know what any of that means, it doesn't really matter. Just an image that is used for mostly websites. Okay, so now we have our brand and style guidelines. We have our discount air, blah, blah, blah. We have this. We can go from here and we can do anything. I'm going to clear this chat out right here. Just like that. And then, yeah, so from here we can basically do anything we want. We could say, what do I want to do? I want you to write me an offer. And then I'm just going to send that out. And then from here, we can turn it into infographics and whatever else we want to do. What I like to do, also, a little hack here, is I like to upload Donald Miller's StoryBrand framework. It's fantastic. You do have to clarify, like, hey, here's the source of his framework, but don't actually, like, inject, you know, all of his like information, because the clients are going to read this. So it needs to be for the front end for the clients that are reading this. I hope that makes sense. I might have confused you there a little bit. Okay, is your AC not cooling properly, or are you hearing unusual noises from your unit when you're... Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, I want you to create me an infographic following my brand and style guidelines based on this offer. Okay, so it's going to start generating a infographic. I wonder if there's a way that I got an idea here. I'm gonna delete the chat there for that one. Let's close this one out so I don't confuse you guys. So right now it's generating that infographic, but what we can do is we can go to YouTube, if I can see my keys here, and then we can go to Donald Miller StoryBrand, and then there's a specific video he has, which is this one right here. We can copy the link, so share, copy that link. This guy is a freaking genius. He's a whiz at the branding stuff, so highly recommend you watch his videos. I've gotten a lot out of it. And then we can add source. We can just upload this YouTube here, just like so. And then we can rename it. So rename it, and then just put Donald Miller StoryBrand framework with Donald Miller's fun. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to clear the chat. And I'm going to say, for the StoryBrand framework with Donald Miller, I want you to write me a prompt that says, use his framework for all of our branding and our voice of our company, right? Like follow his framework for that. But I don't want you to inject all of the back end stuff into the front end stuff. So for example, when he says like step 1, step 2, step 3, or pain point, you know, dream outcome, I don't want any of those texts showing up into my the content that I have generated. Okay, so I want all that back end stuff to stay in the back end, because everything I generate in here is going to be for front end for the customer to see. Okay, so I want you to write me a detailed and comprehensive prompt that I can put into a note that I then can convert to a source that is basically telling you, NotebookLM, how to use the StoryBrand framework. Okay. All right, great. Queen Creek HVAC service guide. Here we go. So here's the offer that we had it generate automatically. I don't think it did not get the logo at all, but we can tell it to fix it. It's fine. Did it get the phone number right? 0. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Nicely done. Core promises: fast same-day service, available 24/7, emergency repair, transparent pricing, trusted and licensed crew, cooling solutions. See, you notice like this is heated, but it's not super hot. I like more of the blue, right? Because if we're in Arizona, you want more blue. If you're in like Chicago, you want more red because it's cold there. Expert AC and heating repair. That's great. Maintenance and installation, call text, 5-star rated, financing available, licensed contractor. Wow, it got all that information there. That's fantastic. The only thing I wanted to do is I want to go into the brand style guideline. I think we need to update this a little bit here. So what we can do is we can look at the brand. But before I get ahead of myself, okay, I'm don't get ahead of myself here. Let's do one thing at a time. So we have our guide on how to use the story brand. Okay. Front end copywriter. That's the word I was looking for earlier because I couldn't think of it for some reason. I'm drawing some blanks today. Okay, let's just copy this whole thing because it's going to mess up if I try to select it individually. Paste it there, and then we can get rid of this stuff and get rid of this stuff. Okay. There we go. All right, perfect. And then we're just going to call this how to use story brand. Okay, perfect. Just like that. And then we're going to convert this to a source. And it's going to be over here. Now, we're going to clear the chat. And then the brand and style guidelines. I'm going to copy all of this. And I'm just going to wait for a second. I need to update the brand guidelines, the brand and style guidelines, to make sure that we use my discount air cooling and heating logo that is in the source as well. It's an image. It's a WebP image. To use that one. And then also to point towards using the how to use the story brand, which pulls from story brand framework with Donald Miller. Okay, so we just need to update this brand and style guideline. Okay, let's paste that there. Oh, I don't think we have to. It should. I'm going to say this too because it's not going to let me post that much. The brand and style guideline is in the source. Just pull from there and then write me the new one. I'll put it in the notes and then I'll convert it to a source afterwards. Okay. There we go. Okay. Man, let me get some NeuroGum here. I thought NeuroGum was like a fad until one of my buddies let me try some. And I'm like, wow, this is incredible. All right. Hopefully I'm not chewing too loud in the mic. That'd be obnoxious, right? Okay. This is all good. Okay, let's copy that. And then we're just going to go into our brand guidelines. Get rid of all that. And then we can just go here. Get rid of all that. Okay, perfect. There we go. So it included all that. That's perfect. All right, and now we can just take this source here, remove the source, and then we can take the brand style guidelines and we can convert to a source. Hopefully this is not all too complicated because it's very powerful. And so remember, the more powerful things are, usually the more complex they get. That's just the nature of it. But we'll try to keep it as simple as possible. Essentially what we're doing here is we're creating like a workspace where we can do anything for our company. You can write logos, slogans, offers, you name it. You can do it all right here and it stays consistent. It's pretty powerful. All right, so we have this. And now I'm just going to delete the chat again. Just clear the history, right? Because we don't want any influence. And then I'm going to say, we did this here. I'm going to say, write me an offer. Okay. And the only difference, the major difference is going to be from this one to the last offer we made is now we're following the Donald Miller story brand framework. And we've done a couple updates, so it should be improved here. Yeah, look at the difference there. Stop sweating through another sleepless night. Get fast, reliable HVAC relief today. That's awesome. Okay, let's copy that. I want you to turn this into an infographic. Okay, perfect. Super simple, super easy. I'm just gonna start generating an infographic over here. All right, so we can create an infographic. We can create an offer. Right, you can create as many offers from your, and I'll step this up one for you, okay? Let's get a little crazy here, all right? You can go to Alex Hermosi. Go to his YouTube channel, right? And then go to his videos. Pick a video that you like, that you know well. Don't just pick one at random, but pick one that you know well that's going to work, okay? And then use that one. So let's just say, let's look at his, and if you haven't read his books are really good. I highly recommend that you read his books. Let's go to Offer. The Offer King 5 years ago. Man, he looks quite a bit different now. It's the beard. He's got a massive beard. Apply $100 million offer to e-commerce. I'm pissed when somebody asks for discounts. Okay, let's find one. I've probably watched most of these videos. Stop being frugal. Okay, interesting. Let's sort these if we can. Can we? I don't think we can sort them. Okay. 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 Well, that sucks. We'll go to the videos right here. We'll copy this. We will use Claude. Post it in. I want you to find me a video on Alex Hermosi's YouTube channel that has it's a full breakdown, comprehensive guide on how to do his offers. Okay, that was a terrible prompt, but that's all right. Let's go back. We've got the infographic ready. That's nuts. This is crazy. Okay. All right. So stop sweating through another sleepless night. The frustration, but is he sweating though? See, we don't want that blue dot there. That's gonna bug me. The frustration. Okay, let's get to it. Stop sweating through another sleepless night. The frustration of a broken system. You don't have to say anything. You can feel that real quick. More than just a broken AC, common issues like leak, airflows, leaks, and noises cause genuine discomfort and household stress. AC not cooling, warm air blowing from vents, water leaks, clogged drain lines, or frozen coils. System cycling, faulty sensors causing frequent on and off. No more hidden fee anxiety. You shouldn't have to worry about surprise costs when trying to restore your home's comfort. That's good relief. Call a technician today. There's a phone number, locally trusted experts, proudly serving Queen Creek, Ironwood Crossing, and surrounding neighborhoods. Okay? And then your path to immediate relief. 5-star rated and fully licensed, transparent, same-day services, financing options available. And then look at that. We showed the dream outcome, right? Like, here is the dream outcome, right? Being able to sleep comfortably, peacefully, and it's nice and cool. The only thing that we don't want is we don't want this sweat on his face, because visually, instantly, I'm like, okay, he's sweating because it's hot. We don't want that. But that was it. I mean, this nailed it. And all we gotta say is, everything looks fantastic, great job, but there's one little bitty speck of sweat on his face. I don't want that to be there, okay? But everything else, leave it the same, okay? And regenerate that infographic. Okay. Just like that. Okay, so let's see. The videos before right at the top. Okay, so this is a comprehensive breakdown, it says. Let's open it up. Video unavailable. Okay. I think the site's muted. 1 second.
No. Written and performed by Alex Hermosi.
Get out of here. I did not know that Alex Hermosi has a full audio book of his $100 million offer. This is insane. Get out of here, bro. He gives away so much stuff. He gives away so much stuff. English school and Money Matrix. So this has to be genuinely him because he's also co-owner of school. So this is awesome. It's insane. Okay, so we can just copy this link right here, and then we can go back to our NotebookLM, and we can, once this generates, I want to make sure that the infographic is done. We can inject his $100 million offer framework into here. So again, we have StoryBrand with framework with Donald Miller that helps you stay on track with your branding, which is perfect. So we can generate awesome graphics like this for pamphlets, you name it. You can create offers in general if you want, but we're gonna inject this framework into the NotebookLM as well. So we're gonna have the brains of Alex Hormozi essentially powering the offering, and then StoryBrand, which is basically how to word stuff to, you know. But anyways, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat because I can't solve anything if we don't have any questions coming in. You can literally solve. You can do anything with AI now. The answer is yes to everything. Okay. Here we go. Stop sweating through another sleepless night. The problem, stuck in the heat. See, this is the only thing that it did this time that I don't like is that it injected this, and I told it not to inject it. We just have to regenerate it, which is fine. But you can see quickly, like, okay, life sucks because I'm burning up. And then there's also the stress of finances, which is great. And then we have the solution, right? Which is call us, this company here that I picked at random. Boom, there you go. Awesome. Okay, so now what I want to do, delete this chat, and we're going to inject this over here. So make sure we have this copied. And then go to the chat. And then I'm going to say, I want you to take this $100 million offer audiobook from Alex Hormozi. I'll drop you the link at the end. And I want you to update the brand and style guidelines to make sure and include that video for reference when we're doing anything that has to do with making offerings and the finances and the money aspect, really. So pretend or actually be a senior financial advisor and be comprehensive and super exhaustive. Okay, that was a terrible prompt, but that's fine. All right, and then we could just paste this in here. Make sure this chat is cleared. And then it's going to, see, it says Alex from Aussie. It never gets, I always say Hormozi, and it never gets Hormozi. Okay, let's get rid of this. Oh, did it not copy the... There we go. I guess it didn't actually copy it, even though I did hit copy. It's okay. So we'll just send that. And we can also add clarification. We don't want to overcomplicate this here, but we could say... Let me see. Let me read this before I finish that thought. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I want you to write the brand and style guidelines. It's not working. Something went wrong. Okay, so what I want you to do is the update for the brand and style guidelines is basically use Donald Miller for the branding and use Alex Hormozi for the offering, the finances, right? And those two should work together hand in hand. So Donald Miller is the senior brand expert, and Alex Hormozi is the senior financial expert. That sucks. So that whole prompt I just gave, it didn't save it, which is so weird. Okay, so basically what I want you to do is update the brand and style guidelines. I want Alex Hormozi and Donald Miller to work together. Donald Miller will be the Donald Miller will be the. It's not working. Together. Donald Miller will be the brand expert, and Alex Ramosi. It's funny that it says that. Ramosi is the senior financial expert. It didn't. Some reason Windows, like the voice thing with Windows, is so buggy sometimes, and I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Why is it doing that? Let's just copy video URL right here.
Guiding principles.
Awesome. There we go. So again, if we're doing anything, and this is just a part of it with AI. You just got to go back and forth, right? Like imagine AI is like somebody who's 19, who's extremely capable, but you have to do a lot of hand holding to get anything done. Man, that's gonna drive me nuts to keep saying that. Okay. Okay, so now that you have all of the information, I want you to update the current brand and style guidelines I have. So combine all of this together. Man, that sucks. I'm trying not to get frustrated here, but I'm going to. Okay, so now that you have all of the info, I want you to take everything we discussed and combine all of this together. That's fine. Not really sure why the voice thing stops working on Windows like that. I'm not really sure. I think I might have to go to WhisperFlow. I try to avoid using AI voice correction softwares because it's basically teaching you a bad habit of not speaking better, right? So we don't want that. Okay, there we go. Okay, great. And I'm going to say, keep my current brand guidelines, but add this info into it. Thank you. Always thank the robots. Okay, here we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's got all of that. Excuse me. Okay, it's got all of that information we need, but I want to make sure that it's pointing towards... Yeah, it's not doing what we want it to do. This is getting a little drug out here, but... Okay, let's see. After this, we're just going to move forward because this is taking too long. It says it added those ends there. Brand voice. Okay, here we go. To ensure all copy. Oh, there. Well, man, what am I talking about? It did it right there. Okay. That's fine. We can use this first one here. That's fine. So let's just copy this. Go to the brand style guidelines. And then we can just get rid of all this here. We can paste this new one in here. So it has everything that we had before, but it also has Donald Miller's framework for story branding, and it also has Alex Ramosey's $100 million offer built in as well. Okay, so we can go here, and then we can just delete this source over here, and then we can convert this to a source. Okay, just like that. Perfect. All right. Good, good, good. And then we're going to add this to the sources. Boom. I'm going to clear this chat. I'm going to say, man, the voice is just not working. What you can do, a little hack here, is if the voice is not working here, you can just jump over. I want you to do the same thing essentially that you did for the Donald Miller story framework. Basically, the document that you made that is pointing towards that video saying how to use it, and that it's mentioned in our brand guideline, our brand and style guideline. But I want you to do that same thing, but I want you to do it for the Alex Ramosey $100 million offer video that I have linked in the sources, okay? And then you just copy it from here and go over here if it breaks like that. And then Ramosey. All right. Perfect. Let's generate that. We can get rid of this here. Boom, bada, bam. All right. All right. All right. How to use the, okay, here we go. Perfect. So we can just copy this. Copy this, go over here to source, hit that, get rid of that, go up here, copy this, do that, get rid of that, get rid of this. Okay, perfect. And now we can take that one that we just made and we can convert that to a source. And what that's going to do is it's going to point towards this video here by Alex Ramosey. This one is going to point towards the Donald Miller one. We have our website and we have our logo and we have our brand and style guideline, which is also pointing to everything else. So we have essentially just created like a little operating system here in NotebookLM, which is going to be very powerful. So now I can say, make me an offer. No, make me an unbeatable, no brainer offer. Okay. Let's see what that does. Okay, so we don't need this. We can just go to a new chat. You can also customize this and upload the logo as the background here, which is pretty cool. Right, so now we can visually see this is what we're working with, which is awesome. So you can do that for your company too. I can get into it later. We can go into like customizing this whole NotebookLM and stuff, but you don't really need it right now. You go too deep into things, you'll mess it up more than you'll fix it. Okay. Same day Queen Creek summer AC rescue plan. Are you sweating through a hot house in your AC, blowing warm air, making unusually rattling noises, or leaking water? Okay. Awesome. And I'm going to say, make this into a flyer. Ah, my shoulder. Okay. I gotta stop chewing gum because I keep forgetting them like 2 inches away from this microphone. You can probably hear everything. So it's gonna turn into like an ASMR video. Okay, there's that. Yeah, if we didn't learn anything from this video, just learn that Alex Ramosey has this $100 million offer audiobook fully on YouTube, 4 hours long, you can listen to for free. That's insane. I mean, that's an insane amount of value. This is nuts. This is, I mean,
to figuring out what to do with 3, they tell themselves, free to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whomever I want. Some learned about entrepreneurship through personal development. Others got into it through a franchise.
That audio, I think most certainly is generated by AI. But
There's
still,
park
I mean,
horses.
this is so powerful that he has his full book. Like, I've bought this book. He has his full book on YouTube that you can listen to for free. I mean, this is insane. And then Donald Miller's story framework. I mean, dude, his stuff is so good. I was just watching a video from him the other day about how to make an offer. His stuff is so good. I mean, it's just so good. Okay. So now we have this infographic generating. We're just going to wait for this to come back. We're creating like a flyer, basically, for this company, for this demo company here. Okay. Okay, we gotta wait for this to come back. I just started daydreaming for a second about something else. That's so funny. All right, top rated. All right, there we go. Yeah, my only pet peeve with this company, and they look amazing and they're crushing it. So I'm just being I'm not actually being a hater. I'm not being a hater. I am actually offering some solid advice. Is that I think that this should be on their trucks too, because I'm a little confused by the branding. When I see this, I see the blue and the orange, and then I see blue and red, but then I see yellow on the website. So either the website is outdated or the branding on the trucks is outdated, but that's a lot harder to change. So I would make sure whatever I did on the trucks, I would just keep it on here. But I mean, they're crushing it, so they don't need me. All right, summer AC rescue plan infographic. Okay. All right, that is actually terrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to say, I want you to make this into a flyer, but I want it to be the most basic, simple one possible. Less is more here. Oh my gosh. I want you to take this and turn it into the most basic, simple flyer possible. Remember, right now, less is actually more, okay? There we go. Perfect. And let's go over here. Let's generate that. And then we're just going to wait for it to come back. I'm actually really impressed by the first one that we generated, honestly. I mean, this is really good. Just that only little bitty speck right here that is messed up. But to be honest, let me show you something real quick. You can just save this image, right? There we go. It's downloading over here. Okay. And then you can just go to like Photoshop online. If you don't have access to Photoshop, there's probably a bazillion different softwares that you can use for free. And then we can essentially go here, go to our downloads. We can drop this into here. No, we cannot. We can drop this into here. And then it's going to pull up Photoshop online, which is really powerful. I used to have all this stuff downloaded on my computer, but they're like 5 gigabytes each. And I realize now for the work I do, it's better just to have it online. And then we can fill. So what we're going to do, use your bracket keys to make it smaller, or you can just hold over here and bring it smaller, and then swipe over. Just hit generate. We're going to optimize this image. Wait for it to come back. Sorry, guys, I'm going to stop chewing gum. Okay, so it's perfect. And then we have this right here. The only thing wrong with this flyer is this little bitty speck of sweat right here that came through. So we don't really want that. So we can just click on that. Let's do a little bit on the top and bottom, and just fill. And then it's going to use generative AI to get rid of that. Okay, perfect. It's done. And then let me zoom out here a little bit. Oop, Went way out. Perfect. So there's our flyer. And then anything that you want to like get rid of as well, you can just like get rid of. I think, let's see. Hold on a second. This thing is like going way out on me. Let's zoom in here. Let's say we want to get rid of this. We can basically just trace this here. And then just generate, because I like this one here better than this one over here. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I actually like this one over there better. So let's just get rid of this one here by chasing around. And then just hit Gen Fill. And then this is going to get rid of that logo. And it's going to blend in perfectly with the background. Okay, perfect. Just like that. And let's zoom out a little bit. For some reason, when I zoom out on here and I'm using my hotkeys, it does all that. So yeah, so there we go. So we can download this and we have like a professionally made flyer with their problem on the left here and then our solution on the right and then a call to action right here. I mean, this is perfect. And then our service areas too. All right, so let's just download that. And then I'll download the existing. Perfect. It did not show up there. That's okay. Let's go to our downloads. And then let's open that up and see what that looks like. Yeah, this is fantastic. Look at that. All generated by in NotebookLM, which is free. And it has our custom branding and logo and stuff like that. So yeah, this is dope. All right, so let's get rid of that real quick. So here's our thing. And then if we wanted it to be the same exact guy, we could, but I'm not going to dig into it too much right now. Let's see what this one generated here. Wait a minute. Is that the same one that I asked it to do 5 minutes ago? Let's do infographic. Let's do the most basic one that we could possibly do, which is going to be instructional. And then let's do concise. And let's just generate. That's fine. Okay, and that's going to come back. All right, so essentially what we've done is we've taken our website, right? And in this instance, this is a demo. I've just taken this one at random. I have no affiliation with them at all. I have put them into here. I have downloaded the logo, right? And then I have also uploaded the $100 million offer audiobook from Alex Hormozy, the Donald Miller story brand framework from YouTube. I've written how to use the story brand framework as a guide. Same thing for the $100 million offer. And then I have all of that pointed towards the brand and style guideline, which has everything from the website, colors, fonts, phone numbers, license numbers, service areas, and it has it all baked into here. So everything I do inside of here is coming from this. So you have consistency and high quality. Fingers crossed, because it's AI, so sometimes it just misses. Okay, and then let me see. So we have our offer here. So I said, hey, create me an offer, and it used the Alex Hormozy $100 million offer to create an offer based off of the website, which would be your brand. Okay, so let's just read through the offer we're waiting here. Same day, Queen Creek summer AC rescue. Are you sweating through a hot house? Is your AC blowing warm air, making unusually rattling noises, or leaking water? You shouldn't have to suffer through a miserable hot day in your own home or stress over hidden fees from unreliable contractors. We know exactly how frustrating and uncomfortable a broken AC in Arizona can be. Amen to that. At a discount, air cooling and heating are clean, respectful, and fully licensed. There's the number. Experts have earned a 5-star customer rating by delivering reliable solutions fast. Here is what you get when you book today. Immediate relief, fast same-day service. Okay. Total transparency, got it. Bonus number 1, free filter check. Bonus number 2, free thermostat orientation. And bonus number 3, a waived dispatch fee. Okay, and then our ironclad protection. You are completely protected by our satisfaction guarantee and our promise of honest repair recommendations. You will never be sold something you don't need. This is like super powerful, because this one here, let me pull them back up on Google. Discount air and cooling. Okay, I have the history right there. Their Google review is 5-star, over 160 people. That's nuts. I don't know how you get that, actually, because most of the time you wind up at 4.9, which is freaking amazing. So that's really cool. So anyways, you had this offer here from Alex Hormozy based off of your website, which is It's nuts that we live in the time that you could do this. Let's see. And then if you looked at my other, I'm just trying to think of like useful things that can help to maybe like bounce some ideas off of. If you can look at one of my previous YouTube videos, I showed how to extract customer pain points from Reddit. Reddit's like the most honest source that you could pull from. So solutions, where is it? It's going to take me a second to find it. Customer pain points right there. Let's see if this is for... Oh, no, this is customer pain points for pest control. That's unfortunate. Because I was going to say for heating and air. But what you can do is you can just go to Gemini. And then you can just say... Hopefully the mic works. It's not been working. Hello. Perfect. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to do a Google deep research and find me 100 subreddits that this is where all the people live and talk about and complain about and are annoyed by everything that has to do with HVAC in the Phoenix, Arizona Valley. I want these URLs to be unlisted, unformatted, unnumbered, just the raw URLs brought back to me, please. Thank you so much. And then we can just do... Because I've used like, I've used all my usage. Oh wait, it's still going. Perfect. Okay, and then we should be able to do deep research still, even though I've used like everything. I'm not seeing deep research here for some reason, which is so weird. Let's just do this for now. That's fine. I would do deep research, but I was doing a ton of work on this today, and I used up all my usage right before I started to stream, which is funny. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to say HVAC only. And this should be enough for a demo for now, right? And if you have questions, please drop them down in the chat. I want to answer them. That's fine. That's fine enough to start for now. Let's just copy these. And then we can go... Let me just get rid of this for now. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup here. We don't need that video up. Should definitely go watch those videos, though. I was just using that for a microphone because mine's not working right now. We need that. And then we do this. Create another NotebookLM. And then we can just drop all these URLs in here. And then fire that off. Researching websites. Again, NotebookLM is free. I'm not trying to sell you an affiliate link. They don't offer one, so go use it like crazy. But it does have a usage limit on the free plan, which I'm not sure what it is. Okay. Why is it trying to add what I don't want? Let's do websites. Paste the links. Okay, so what it's doing here... Okay, give me 1 second, because... Oh, man, that sucks. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to have to Control-T and open that window back up.
Their discomfort compound.
Let's get rid of that. And then I'm going to say, I want these URLs unlisted, unformatted, unbulleted, everything. I just want the raw URLs, please. Just the raw URLs. It's important that we do that because in NotebookLM, it'll act weird if you don't do it this way. Okay, let's copy that response. And then let's do this. Give me 1 second. I think I may copy it this way. It may work. You don't want any of these brackets and stuff in here. There we go. Perfect. Okay, it was just there we go. See? And it goes right in. No problem. If you do it like any other way, it'll think it's got to go search it for you, and it doesn't. And then I'm just going to go right here, and my microphone's not working for some reason for the thing, so I'm just going to say, I want you to find me the top 5 biggest pain points of these customers. And then just put it here. And then now this is going to go through all these subreddits, and it's going to pull all the pain points from these subreddits. Here's the one that we were doing before. So we have our Grand Slam offer blueprint guide. The Grand Slam offer blueprint, how to make offers so good people feel stupid saying no. That's what Hermosi says. 1, own the problem to own the market. Balance the value equation. Lift the cognitive fog with a plan. Context summary, and then use a one-liner call to action. If you struggle with problem, product is the right move. Would you like to buy it? Okay, that's great. And now, so we have this, I'm going to say, I'm going to take this offer here. I'm going to copy this offer. I'm going to delete the chat. I'm going to say, make me a flyer for this offer to the customer, and then front end. Okay, say front end because we don't want any like back end like explainer stuff that we would be reading. And then let's do that. That's going to create a graphic over here. Okay, so our number 1 pain point, or number 5 pain points, distrust of contractors and high pricing. All right, got it. Temperature imbalances and airflow problems. So they get frustrated because essentially their system's not working the way it should be, right? There's an expectation gap there. Preventable system failures and frozen coils. Yikes. Navigating heat pump upgrades in cold climates. Really? Complain about that here. Smart thermostat wiring and usability. Okay. All right, so the number 1 is distrust of contractors and high pricing. But with this NotebookLM that we made for this company here, they're not going to have that problem because they have a 5-star rating. The way that we worded everything was so well. I mean, that's going to break through that number 1 barrier. Temperature imbalances and airflow problems. They're going to solve that. Preventable system failures. Okay, so I'm going to say, give me the top 5 problems. Top 5 problems that I, as a HVAC tech, can fix. I'm just going to say that. I don't know what we're going to get back from that, but we're just going to say it. Okay, we're waiting on this to generate. Oh, it's 3:17. I do have to go in a second, guys. I apologize. I'm supposed to be in a webinar right now. Airflow restrictions and frozen evaporator coils. Okay, temperature imbalances. Yeah, this seems like the biggest one, but it seems like if you do the thermostat right and you set it up right and you educate the customer, so setting it up right and educating the customer. Okay, perfect. All right, great. So that's something that we can definitely solve. Okay, so while it just did this one, let's see what we got. AC broken, stop sweating in your own home. That's a huge pain point right there off the bat. Get immediate same-day relief in Queen Creek with no hidden fees. Fast and same-day service, clear upfront pricing, high-value bonuses. Local 5-star experts, call technician today. Okay, well, that's great. I would want to put the logo in there, though, for branding purposes. But now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this, and this is the last thing I got to do because I've got to go, I need to control myself. Temperature imbalances. So let's say, like, it's up to us to do a good job, okay? We'll go do a good job. Great. But now we need to educate the customer. So I'm going to take this and copy this. And I'm going to say, I have to go over here because my thing is broken. Okay, so I have a big pain point from subreddits from HVAC customers complaining about what they don't like and stuff like that. And I found one. But what I need you to do is to create me a infographic to educate the customer on how to use their thermostat, okay? How to use their HVAC system properly, okay? So just basic education, and I want to turn this into an infographic that I can give to them, okay? And let's cut that off there, and then let's place that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and because ChatGPT is really good at, like, writing stuff. It's really good. Make this prompt better. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to paste that there. Okay? Here's a much stronger, clearer, and more AI usable version of your prompt. Okay. There we go. There we go. Hopefully it's not too long. Let me clarify one thing. Write it for notebook NotebookLM, which is the AI I will be using this in. And it's going to have context aware that, that it doesn't need to be too long because NotebookLM has a limited window that you can post into. Might still be too long. This is a pretty lengthy prompt. Dang. All right, let's go back to NotebookLM, and then we can just post this in here. Control V, and it's not too long. Perfect. And then we will generate that, and we'll see what happens. So we'll just read through it. Basically, just saying the goal is to understand basic HVAC operations so they can avoid common comfort problems. Target audience, non-technical homeowners with little HVAC knowledge. Simple, clear, and helpful. Avoid jargon. Write at a 6th to 8th grade reading level. See, I didn't ask for that. ChatGPT automatically injected that, which is sweet. Format is a clean infographic. We got, hold on a second. Sorry, I went to put my leg up, and my Apple Watch had a cover on it that just got popped off. Not a big deal. I'll fix it later. Headline, create strong headline, subheadline, section. Now I'm just rambling. The big myth, like all this is fun. How to fix it, homeowner basics, great. Smart upgrades, but powerful, great. Let's see what it's doing down here. 1 second. Okay, now I'm just gonna say, create a infographic for this. Okay, that's fine. 1 second. Let me see where this cover went while this is generating. Oh. It's right here. I have to keep a cover on my Apple Watch because when I rock climb, I usually bang it up pretty badly, so got to cover it up. I'm creating an infographic for you right now. Okay, thank you so much. All right, let's see. And we've got to wrap this up in like 2 minutes because I'm so late for that webinar. All right, so let's get rid of that. We don't need that. Yeah, so if you don't, I don't pay for the ChatGPT paid version because I don't need it because I don't use Claude so much. But I think I might start paying for it again because it's very powerful for doing this kind of stuff. It's really good at writing stuff. Okay, we don't need this. Okay. See, it's still generating from the 7 sources. Also, another tip for using NotebookLM is if you toggle these on and off, whenever you generate or do anything over here after that, it won't use it. It has to be toggled on. So you could do a select all. See how like the top right over here turned off when I did that? Yeah. So you can select from just certain things if you want, right? So like if I want you to just, I don't know, do something for my logo. I could just turn all this off and then just select my logo, right? Same thing, like if I want to just do like the website, the brand style guidelines, but I don't want the offer, I don't want the story brand, stuff like that, I could just do this, even though I kind of have it baked in there. But it's just something to be aware of. Make sure you have everything selected when you're doing this. Man, these guys are crushing it, dude. 5-star rating is insane. And the trucks look good too. I'm just a little confused about this yellow though. Why is it red and then yellow there? But they don't need me. All right, so we have our pain points. Let's just exit this out. And we'll exit this out. And then, oh yeah, they have open 24 hours a day. And if I am not misunderstanding it right, I believe that if you're open 24 hours a day, it bumps you up in the SEO. Because you are, when everything else is closed down, it shows that you're open 24 hours a day, which probably is what a lot of these guys are doing. Open now. Yeah, open 24 hours. Open now. But most of these are open 24 hours a day. Okay, let's see if it did it. Okay, so that's cool. It almost got our little guy right here, right? It's slightly different. We can work on this later. But yeah, so master your home's comfort. The Queen Creek Homeowners HVAC Guide. Discount air cooling and heating, blah, blah, blah. Dealing with hot and cold spots. Uneven temperatures often point to airflow or zoning problems rather than a broken system. Oversized AC myth. Frequently system cycling. Okay, the homeowner's simple fixes. Clear the airway. Unblock your vents. Preventing AC freezing. Keep airflow unrestricted, filters clean to prevent cools from icing over. Okay. Thermostat best practices and smart upgrades. Avoid constant adjustments. Upgrade to smart controls. Common mistakes And pro tips. Ignore the warning signs. Unusual banging, rattling, or whistling noises signal loose components that can lead to expensive breakdowns if not addressed early. Okay, this is great. Yeah, this is fantastic. What I would do, and I've got to go, but I've got to go. What I would do later is I would go online and I would just say, like, let's find the master guide of how to do something, right? And then I would take that source and then put it in here, and then I would turn it on and I would say, hey, build me an infographic to educate my customers based off of, XYZ, and then do it that way. So anyways, I've got to go. I appreciate y'all so much. I will see y'all back tomorrow. Okay. Peace, everybody. Bye now.